So along the way, while you're discovering and talking to authors of different stripes, there's certain things that are common. When an author really has in view not just what they're discovering in texts or in their studies, but who they want to communicate it to. When they know that, that makes a big difference. Also, if that author, it's knowing it is the first step, the other step would be in some way they're still in touch with that reading community or those sorts of people. So when someone does a PhD and then a postdoc and to get tenure has spent 10 or 15 years writing critical, peer-reviewed pieces, and then what drove them into their line of study in the first place was to offer something back to the church, and suddenly they want to dive right back in, but if they've not been able to continue to teach undergraduates or to be in touch with a faith community in a way that has kept them grounded in how to speak, there's often a period of reacquaintance that's needed to get there again. So authors need to know who they're talking to so that they don't say, and you hear this every so often, I want this book to be for scholars and for practitioners and for lay people. And ultimately it means it's for nobody because they're trying to hit them all, and they have stuff there that is going to lose for sure the lay people. And they'll try to put some homespun material in which the scholars who are reading scholarly material that's meant to speak in a certain way will find intrusive. So knowing your audience and then also being in touch with that audience to pull it off well. But after that, writing for the right audience and writing well, besides using an economy of words and not being needlessly wordy and being clear and not relying only on a particular sub-jargon of a group. All those things are good general writing things which help. I don't care what level you write at. Sentences are not paragraphs and paragraphs are not sentences. But then there are changes. So what would make for a great monograph will be really clarity of where you're coming from, what you're building on, which giants are you standing on the shoulders of, but also what is your particular contribution and how does it stand, if it's unique or if it's just a clarifying or whatever it is the mission of your book, that it's clearly laid out and that it doesn't get needlessly bogged down in rabbit trails. Rabbit trails are great for either a sequel or for a critical article on the side. When it comes to writing for more general readers, again, well, let me put it this way. I had a mentor early in my career who would say, as a bit of a mantra, he would say, never underestimate the potential disinterest of your reader. So stay clear, stay connected. If you're writing for the outside of the guild, for whether it's people in the pew or more general readers in another community, it has to, and especially in the West, I think, we're very narrative-driven. We need stories to hang this on. It needs to understand, why do I need to take this journey with you? So to include narratives and stories that have reality about them, that have reality about them that can be connected with, and then you're then saying, okay, but to get there, you have to understand this thing I'm telling you, and this is how it works. Whether it's clarifying something that's abstract or inviting people to be taking seriously an integration between faith and life or some other aspect of life, for it not to just sound and feel like an academic talking down. The story, the payoff, the realness has to come, and usually has to come pretty early. And it's also helpful these days, I think, to break things down in smaller bites. And I don't mean to talk down to an audience, but to make a chapter about something, to make each section of the chapter about something, and not glob stuff together that people aren't quite sure where you're going. I've found it's helpful for people to recast where we are in this journey in the book. So at the beginning, this is what I was telling you, and then I told you that I would show you this. And you sort of repeat where you are as you go. And concision, these days, concision is great. We have a readership that's more and more impatient with undue wordiness. We're now in the community of readers who are used to blogs rather than extended long tomes. There are, of course, readers who like the bigger books, but in terms of general readers, I think that's true. To be very direct and clear and human are all good things to keep in mind.